So I'm Bryant, I'm an extraterrestrial contactee from Portland, Oregon, and maybe this is for my long-term diehards, my long-term diehard, long-term diehard fans and listeners, mostly listeners. I'm really worried about Andromedan contact circles right now. I want not to hate the Andromedans. I'm trying really hard not to hate the Andromedans. As the idiot Tel'Shiar that I am becoming. But now that Cassiopeans are verboten, we have to have a talk about their silvery orbs, perhaps. The silvery orbs that escort Cassiopeans. It might be described by people close to Jacques Vallée as a UFO control system, or control system associated with UAPs. Cassiopeans are sometimes associated with a control system. And obviously nothing is rods when they're round. But does every Cassiopean have something better to do than spread fear of rods? Well, it's almost like they always have something better to do, the Cassiopeans, than be like, we need more attack helicopters for the rods. The threat that rods are posing, don't you understand? And I'm worried that that guy right there, I'm trying to put on I need to get like a military hat of like too much of an Air Force person that wants to bomb the hell out of everything. It's like, we need more attack helicopters for the rods, like... But hang on. It makes my inner child really uncomfortable what's going on in the Andromedan audience. Because the serious thinker in me goes, if the so-called Yadayahil Anunnaki are so amazing, if these Anunnaki are so amazing, and I almost want to say and actually real, and they're actually real and they actually really exist in a physical kind of way, why don't they sit down for détente with the cat people? No, this is behold how Andromedan audiences actually work. Is why don't they sit down for détente with the cat people? The cat people, the Sagittarians, are associated with the star of Sagittarius. Now, in a really irresponsible misinformation campaign, they're associated with the star of Lyra. And basically, in relation to this misinformation campaign, a being that looks like what you might call a Lemurian in some kind of time pod, that likes to be associated with the star of Lyra, is basically ready to fly out of this time pod and kick your ass. They're ready to like fly out of this time pod. They're ready to kick your ass, or like ready to like punch you in the head or something. If you want to have like the cat people are from Lyra and not Sagittarius. Now, if you want to have the cat people from Sagittarius, they don't want to punch you in the head as much. They want to punch you over and over and over and over and over and over and over in the head until you basically go, oh, that's right, cat people. I wanted to call those from Sagittarius and not from Lyra. I'm sorry, Simyasi. Did that make you uncomfortable? I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Alright, tomorrow Simyasi's not going to personally escort 4 pods of Potapari to Ireland. No, after certain Andromedan celebrities declared that Potapari are Tel'Shiar now we have these amazing little 3-foot tall Tel'Shiar. Going back to Ireland with her? No, this is how insane UFO thinkers have to be. We have to be insane enough to go before... Right, but before that Anunnaki was allowed on the surface, gnomes would jump out of a cave under Greenland. And then it's awkward with how far away Ireland is. Or if not Greenland, elsewhere. Gnomes are associated with caves. Sometimes persons thought they saw a gnome in a cave. And so I think gnomes are basically going to sit there letting people believe in the cat people. And if gnomes don't ever say to go to this one part of the Middle East where, the cat people are deities on Earth. And there's this one part of the Middle East where people believe God of Time Zervan, who appears as a cat man, personally appears to them. Somewhere in the Middle East, they believe Zervan is walking around the desert. He's like, raw, and he can scratch it with his claws, and he's Zervan, God of Time. And in Andromedan audiences, you're allowed to believe Zervan flies around in like an orb-type UFO, personally leading the cat person fleet. Possibly with Commander Maharaji in charge of the other cat people forces from India. And cat forces India are there with like possibly some kind of avatar of Lord Vishnu ready to lead the cat people before such bad karma things happened. And this is how Andromedan audiences actually work. Is in the '90s weren't those Anunnaki bad, and now you want them to. I don't want to go over this right now because Greys are already screaming inside. Greys are already screaming inside. So sometimes Greys are androgynous and they do not envy what's going on with males and gender roles in human society and what males have to deal with sometimes. They do not envy us males. They do not. And there's a legend of Japan of the Dogu, and I don't know if I should go into that right now, who have some archetypal similarities in appearance with Greys. So if Greys were in this sunken temple off the coast of Japan, I think it was the Jomon Temple it was called, wasn't it, off the southern coast of Japan? It's like, how long ago did that sink? Wasn't that like 13,000 years ago that it sank off the coast of Japan? Were Dogu here then? Because there's something from the... Were Dogu here like 10,000 years ago? And there's some say more than here now. There we go with how their society works. No one insult Dogu. I know not to take that name in vain either. You don't take that name in vain, Dogu. Right, and so in Andromedan audiences, if there really was an interstellar war between like Anunnaki and non-Anunnaki beings, then people would be allowed to believe in things like the cat people are going to just like fly out of this unused space under the Middle East where cat people are obviously lying in wait and somehow cat people are happening. And that would be how Andromedan audiences work. With apologies to the ant people. If people want to believe that cat people are a joke and this is just like a joke and there's like some Navy technician inside a human vehicle with like cat claws and cat props from some kind of Navy secret space program, the ant people are not like that. The ant people, well, perhaps here with us in spirit sometimes, the ant people, why wouldn't they be having detente with other extraterrestrial powers if there really was a conflict between extraterrestrials? Why, because sometimes the demonization of grace is political. And right now, you, gentle viewer, I almost, so like I say gentle reader in my writing, but I don't know if that works for TV. You have to get prepared to go to the Amazon jungle and with your flamethrower and chase around the grays of the Amazon jungle, and it's really not allowed. It's really not allowed for you to really actually do this to me. And Bryant, I don't recommend doing this because what they're going to do is they're going to allow people in the Amazon to form labor unions. I, too much of a supervisor somewhere in the U.S. government, expect you to get prepared to march around the Amazon jungle with a flamethrower, chasing them around because they're going to let the people of Amazonas have labor unions. What do you say to that? This is why they're the dangerous subversive greys, and you want them eaten by these special amazing lizard people who are great, actually. That's what's really going on in the Andromedan audience, and after you read past, I don't want to say page 24, 25, they don't admit this at first in one of the Andromedan audiences that's active right now. Then you also have to get ready to basically harm Arcturians for also allowing labor unions to form between humans at this time, and humans to go, rah, 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 collective bargaining rights. I thought that was one reason why we top Navy thinkers were mad with Arcturians and are mad with cat people, and we're mad with who else were we mad with? Top Navy thinkers from that top U.S. Navy thinkers. Sorry, top U.S. Navy thinkers from that class of thinkers in the Andromedan audience, and we are also angry with. So I guarantee you, Andromedans don't have like class warfare between Andromedans. They don't have. I'm the lower class of Andromedans, and I'm hungry, and I'm almost worried Andromedan society doesn't depict mega corporations where the Andromedan mega corporation is a part of it. For people who believe in Andromedans. And I don't want to spread fear of them, but there's a helper being sometimes called Andromedan that that they sometimes have lower IQ than humans and they're escorting humans. It might be like there's an amazing helper who's really great called Andromedan, but they have an IQ of 60 or 80. And they know how to do something like swing the pipe wrench, and they know when it's the right time to swing the pipe wrench and who to swing the pipe wrench at, I think, or something like that. And this is awkward with the workers and the pipe wrench. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, because why wouldn't the Andromedans want to sit down for détente with Pleiadians if some of them were the dreaded Tal Shiar of Aquila and Alteran, were the beings that look like Nordic type beings. And people in Europe believe in magical people who just appear associated with the star of Sirius back to like the 1500s or something, according to Cornelius Agrippa. And text based on Cornelius Agrippa, and it's just like a magical woman appeared who's Aryan and associated with Sirius B. And we're bad to Cornelius Agrippa. Why are they bad now? Oh, Cornelius Agrippa heretic when we have to burn all his books, right? Oh, oh dear. Well, hmm. Oh, when he was confused by fallen angels. No, that's not what I'm going to say. He wrote what he wrote and he left some strange symbols behind. Certain trickster souls will try to hone in on you if you actually work with Cornelius Agrippa, but you might find that something associated with I expect you would find something associated with Sirius is very real. And so why don't they all want to sit down for détente with Sirius High Society? I understand sometimes in Sirius A Society they're having like I have a larger cranium than you and I'm not taking no for an answer. With one other being sometimes perceived as extraterrestrial on Earth has been an impression I gathered sometimes is like I have like a cranium this large. And it matters to me if there's kind of a joke where there's like a helper being and they have like this large of a brain inside with a cranium this big and they're connected to like an AI supercomputer sometimes for people. Or larger than my cranium, and then try to listen to them. Spend a lot of time trying to listen to them. But Syrians have emotions and they get frustrated sometimes. I practically guarantee you that. I practically guarantee you that Syrians have emotions, they get frustrated sometimes. And I'm worried why Sirius A Alliance is bad is because of this made up creature on the big board, and now it's time for our big lie. To make up an entire species to send our budget deficit and our national debt even higher, and I'm worried that I'm then asked to concoct an entire species that doesn't really exist. And at some level, when it comes to Andromedan audiences, I'm ready to let go and let the cat people. And just try to laugh. Just try to laugh about it. Is there anything you want to talk about before I try to sleep, Samyasi? Alright. Okay, because people believe they really see you in Ireland, and I don't know if it's awkward. I think this is funny for her. This seems funny for her now. She seems amused. It's awkward with what Quetzal's been doing the last several years. Is he on a peace mission to the Lyran universe? Because I swear he can teleport. He can teleport right out of the day. He can teleport right out of the damn bell with whistles. I might call it like the right. He can teleport right out of the damn Bellcraft into an orb UFO. Quetzal has to eat sometimes. He has to eat sometimes. Sometimes he needs food. And in the orb UFO, they know where to find food. Sorry about sustainability and the surface civilization. Sustainability. And too hot of a buzzword, because anything that likes sustainability is actually the bad Nordics, and we don't like them, and we have to get them. We top Navy thinkers? I don't know. I mean, why do you want a civilization that's unsustainable? Isn't that bad by definition? Let's see, who else am I forgetting? There's the cat people. There were, and if Andromedans have like a lower IQ helper being that's ready to be really brave, I hope we. Sorry, Samyasi, you're screaming inside. Alright, I'm noticing a CE2 contact right now, and I want to pay attention. I want to try to talk slowly because I'm Bryant and I could go a mile a minute right now. I'm so excited about having a real contact with an actual extraterrestrial spaceship. It's not fair to call this a UAP anymore than I'm experiencing. Not fair to the experience. Well, Planet Meaton's really controversial. And sometimes people have high vibration experiences that are real, but Planet Meaton are those bad, nasty Nordics, and we don't like them because they don't want to murder people who talk about sustainability and how to make human civilization more sustainable. They don't want to murder sustainability advocates in their sleep. That's why they're bad. Why don't you want a sustainable civilization? Why do you want something in your life that's unsustainable? You know? I'm not a registered Democrat, but you have to be able to ask that. Because this applies to everyone from every political party. If something's not sustainable, like if I see a product in the grocery store that's not sustainable, what system on earth is being strained to rig this product to the shelves? somewhere there's going to be system collapse, and we're going to have like a nasty newspaper article to warn us this wasn't sustainable, and it's going to keep happening. So frankly, I hope it's true. I hope it's true that Syrians took all the fuel rods, or somebody took all the fuel rods that washed out to sea in the TEPCO disaster in 2011, and that we aren't all having, there's so much radiation on the way, and everyone who went to the beach in that office got cancer this year because they went barefoot on the beach or something. I don't know. I mean, if I was gonna go to the beach again, I haven't been to the beach since I was something like 15 or years old or so. I think right now. Oh no, wait, never mind. Never mind. There was that time in my 20s. Never mind. I might want to take a Geiger counter if I went to the beach just in case. It's like when you get loose, it's like how many hot particles washed off of them. Exposed were they to how much brine and this and that in the ocean. It's an amazing extraterrestrial civilization just filtering the water down there. Like I'm just checking for hot particles now. I'm just checking for hot particles. And so I personally, I would sit around letting the cat people take the fuel rods away. Forgive me, audience. I was just double checking my memories. I noticed a CE2 contact. It just has to be fair to ask yourself if you're on Andromeda Council audience obsessives, why isn't there negotiating going on? Why isn't there detente between alleged space powers? And then you have to be allowed to ask yourself, are these really real extraterrestrial or interterrestrial entities? You have to be allowed to ask yourself that. What do people know? What do they think they know about these entities? So forgive me, Aldebaran associated Agarthans are protective of their contactees sometimes. And I'm worried of any depiction of their caves that's attributed to be a legend, that their civilization is sustainable, that they have a number of members of the civilization, it's in proportion to the resources available, and that's just it. So I don't want to leave the Hygadians feeling forgotten either. So you can't involve the Hygadian genetic chain without helper beings, but then when you thought you saw a gnome, and so you really can't let go of certain what you might call myths or legends if you're in the Andromeda Council audience. But then all the gnomes see, and where it goes with one of the top celebs in that audience, I'm afraid to say, is then you don't like the gnomes or fairies, and you really want suicide, because then suicide is the best thing ever. You can go into your lizard person life. And that seems to me to be how a really important element the Andromeda Council audience really conducts themselves is they, it's technically the first time right to do this and try to send that spiritual message that no, you want suicide and suicide is what you want, and you want to go into your reptilian body. But how can I tell that they're not just making more demons in hell? I think Lord Satan has to let souls make that their lot in their existence. Is that I want to make more I want to make more lizard person souls in hell. And I'm aware that's an aspect of the Andromeda Council audience sometimes. And so while I want to believe that there might be like a good lizard person and like a reptilian biped that's amazing actually, I'm worried you're asking Mexicans to trust chupacabras. Or something like a really tall chupacabra is happening in the Andromeda Council audience by mistake, and I'm having, Mexico's majority Catholic, and I'm not practicing. But basically, I don't know. I don't want to make it as simple as Lemurians and chupacabras. But then I have to introduce like the bad Lemurian cave, but we don't want to say where our cave is. I don't want to say they're so scared of the surface of Earth they hide there in like on the interior of Saturn's moon of Pan. And they're all like, what the hell am I gonna do? What the hell am I gonna do about this thing happening on Earth? Or one of Saturn's other moons, and they're just sitting there like the Orb UFO, and one of Saturn's other moons like, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm not a perfectly magical Lemurian because I'm in like an Orb UFO. And talk more about how we use that word. It's very important how we use that word because that's sometimes it's like a magical being that flies right out of the moon people believe on. Oh. No, Serious A Society, what they never do is they never tell you need to mistrust the Lemurians. No, you need to be careful of Lemurians, I don't think. And sometimes that means, not necessarily Aryans who engaged in ancient sailing. 6,000 years ago, Aryans who sailed from here to there on the surface of Earth. Was that how you use that word, or was that like a magical person that flies out of a moonbeam? Alright, well, today was the moon's day, and oh, yes, and yesterday was the moon's day. Yesterday was the moon's day, and I'm Bryant. I'm accused moon worshipper. I worship spirits of the moon, it's true. It's true, I'm Bryant. I worship spirits of the moon. Sometimes they're good to me, and good spirits to me. Well, because once the karma was so bad in something like the Andromeda Council audience, people believe in like, what about other paranormal beings people believe in? Why do they believe in them? And people believe in this being called an asura, which is like a Shambhala warrior. Once the karma is so bad to both Hindus and Buddhists, it's like an asura might do it. They might want to break out of Shambhala and have like a and once somebody who was doing something that's such bad karma after like Buddhists or involved presences warned them that their karma was so bad, felt like they got punched, and somebody like punched them instead of like punching them with like I don't want to say like a punch dagger, like oh, and you're bleeding. And I don't know if asuras ever just like cut people sometimes as a warning, like, wow, you have a karma scar from what you did. For people who believe in asuras. this is awkward for Eastern mystics, perhaps. And while I'm not totally devoted to Eastern spirituality, I tolerate Asura worship. I don't interfere in Asura worship. People believe they're worshipping the Asuras right now. Right, people believe they're in the ancient Aryan caves under Tibet that are connected to Blue-Eyed Buddha, don't they? People believe in Blue-Eyed Buddha. And that Blue-Eyed Buddha is speaking to them also. So if Buddhists are out there chanting every kind of mantra because the karma seems so bad as something going on in the Andromeda Council audience, I hear you. I hear you, Buddhists. I hear you in my soul. I'm sorry with how I'll describe the audience in these terms for psychics, because nothing in the Inner Lizard Bowl includes any kind of druid, I don't think. I don't think druids of the Celts are included in the Inner Lizard Bowls. And I don't think druids of Norseways are included in Inner Lizard Bowls. And so maybe both druids of Ireland and druids of Germany are pissed off. I don't know how to finish this talk without the Inner Lizard Bowls. I'm going to just leave this there for now and say you have to be able to think in those terms to understand the Andromedan audience right now.